7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hope you guys doing good. Another episode of Strategy Sunday. Hope everybody had a great week so far. Give me 1 second to get everything set up. This is too long. Nope. All right, got one more thing to send out. So like I said, is that we got a lot to talk about tonight. But the first thing I want to talk about is a story that happened to me back a long time ago when I was younger. And the reason why I want to tell this story, hope you guys can hear me on Instagram and hope you guys can hear me on YouTube. Hopefully you can hear me on both. I want to tell a story, right? Because when I was younger, and everybody goes through these problems when they're younger. Before we start, like I said, we're going to talk about Nvidia. We're going to talk about AI coming back. We're going to talk about QQQ and other NFTs. Then we're going to talk about the future of banking, right? We're going to do future of banking, right? We're going to talk about those four things. But first I want to talk about I want to talk about change. I want to talk about change because understanding how change works is very, very important. Business, other types of business, but the first business I ever had, the first quote unquote business I ever had, and I made a lot of money in it, was selling secondhand Nintendos. Remember the 8-bit Nintendos? They were in the gray box. I was on, let me see something. I needed some money because I wanted to go study abroad in Mexico, right? So what I did is I went on eBay and I went on other sites and I've kept looking for what now I know is what's called a marketing efficiency. A marketing efficiency is when all people in a market don't understand the price differences or what the value is of different things. And there's a big margin in that. And you can take advantage of that margin, right? So I looked online and, I saw Nintendo selling for $169. And I'm like, man, I know I can go down to the Goodwill and get it for $20. And that was before the internet was like, it's 2002 or something. That was before everybody understood eBay. There was no digital camera, so you had to scan pictures in. It was very difficult to get some on eBay. I knew how to do it because I was in computer science, right? So what I did is that, who was that? So what I did is that I went and got these computers, Nintendos from Goodwill and other flea markets. And I was like, well, what's the difference here? Why are the ones here selling for so much as opposed to the ones on eBay? Well, on eBay, they were called refurbished Nintendos. And all that meant is that there was a 72-pin connector inside there. If you remember the old Nintendos, you had to blow on them and you had to put them in. The reason why is because those pins where the Nintendo would connect, they were loose. So dust could get in there and you had to blow the dust off. But when you tighten them up, dust couldn't get in between the connector. So the games always played. So I did that, right? I put it in there and I would clean everything off. Then I would make the 72-pin connector tighter. And I would buy them at 20 and I'd sell them for $169. I did this all summer. I was making at one point like $10,000 a week doing this. I would buy Nintendos, fill them all up in my room, and I would spend all night and all day. I hired one of my friends to help me. And I was making a ridiculous amount of money. And I was moving up to my trip to Mexico that summer. So I did it that whole spring semester, and I did it half the summer. I went to Mexico, right? And I left some in my room, went to Mexico, had fun for 3 months, cut off from the world. Back then, you got cut off back then. Cell phones didn't work in Mexico, stuff like that. When I got back, I always said, man, I'll just start selling Nintendos again. I could do this forever. Remember, I was 20 years old. I could do this forever. It's never going to end. I'm going to keep making money like this, and this is going to be what I'm going to do. I got back, and I put 7 Nintendos up for sale. Not one of them sold. I'm confused. I'm like, what happened? And I put lower the price. None of them sell. Lower the price. None of them sell. Why are they not selling? I used to sell 10 in a day, 15 in a day, 20 in a day. So I looked on there. Now, Nintendo's now is selling for $59. Well, the cost to acquire them was $20. So I said, well, I'm going to go try to get some more real fast. Went back down to the flea market and all the Goodwills. Now the price is $40. So what happened is the market participants figured out what the value was and it could quickly adjust it to that. So that was only $10 profit in each one. It took 4 or 5 months for that to happen. Now, the reason I tell you this is because over the pandemic, a lot of people ran into market inefficiencies. They were making a ridiculous amount of money doing very simple stuff like that Nintendo. And a lot of young people, a lot of people that wasn't business savvy, they thought they hit on a gold mine like me. So they thought this would go on forever. You got to always remember, no matter what, if you're making money and it's easy to do this, one day it will change. That's a guaranteed and that's a constant. It will change on you. So that's the reason why in the Chestnut Checkers group and on my lives, I try to tell you the importance of looking ahead, seeing ahead, looking 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line and planning that path. Because everything, the way you make money today is going to change in 5 years. Your job's going to change. AI is going to take over half the jobs. The way you make money and invest is going to change. There may be more people, less people, or more money to be made or less money to be made. The entrepreneurship is going to change because competition is going to come in. Everything you do today, in 5 years, it will change. And you will not be able to make money like this again. So you have to understand the concepts of making money and adapt to that change. That's the only way you can keep going. And if you don't adapt, you will end up like me with those Nintendos. You won't be able to sell one. So with that being said, let's move on to the 4 subjects. We're going to talk about the September effect, because if you go back to 3 months ago, we talked about this September effect. 3 weeks ago, sorry. And I told you stocks were going to fall in September. I hope a lot of you paid attention. There was nobody, I can't say who listened because a lot of y'all did listen. So it's good, right? And I told you that the last week of September and the first week of August, you're going to start seeing a slow comeback of these stocks. I told you Nvidia will be one of the ones that was heaviest hit. Nvidia is down 12% for the month. So now ARM caught up in the September effect as well, but it's going to start coming back here soon. But now it's time for me, I don't know what you're going to do, for me to start buying these stocks that have been hit the hardest in the September effect a little bit more. So Nvidia, Tesla's been hit hard. I'm going to start getting some Tesla and Nvidia. It's been a challenging week for stocks. A lot of things happened last week. The market conditions, the rising interest rates on houses are now 8%, which I think is going to kill the housing market eventually. So I'm holding some money on the sidelines too. Yeah, I told you the story of I tried to do Airbnbs on my Instagram, and a lot of you may not saw that, but I tried to do Airbnb. All these gurus was telling me to do Airbnb, and now I share that story because I want you guys to know that people are not always perfect. You're gonna make mistakes going forward. You're not gonna do everything perfect, but it's like Drake said: as long as the outcome is income, it don't matter, right? I try to do 2 Airbnbs. I hired a company to set them up for me, hired a property manager. And I make less on Airbnbs than I do if I just straight up rented it out. So I made a mistake, right? But that's a very small percentage of my portfolio. These are two houses two properties I own outright. You see what I'm saying? I don't even have a mortgage on them. So I made my money back in the price increase on the value increase of the houses. So it's not really a big deal. It's just lost income in rent, but still, it wasn't a positive outcome. So I'm going to change those back to rental properties. But back to what I've said, the September effect is affecting a lot of assets, a lot of stocks, especially cryptos down a little bit. But like I said, I believe that it's going to change this week into next week. And I think this is the bottom. And it's going to be a rally into August, September, and August, September, October, November, and December. There's going to be a sell-off early December. Into December, we'll go into another rally called the Santa Claus rally. So I think that's going to happen. So I'm going to start buying Tesla and Nvidia stocks. So like I said, is that we still have the CNC open. If you're interested in joining the CNC, DM me the word CNC, or you can go to jointhecnc.com. You could take a look at it. CNC is a group that we have a 5-star community where we provide classes, we provide accountability, we provide stock picks, and we provide signals. A lot of people have made a lot of money. If you're in the CNC, you've made a lot of money. I want you to drop those money bags in the chat. Yeah, Airbnb is oversaturated. I just opened a computer repair store in Atlanta. That's pretty good. I always thought about doing that. Now I'm bullish for the rest of the year. Somebody said, "Are you bullish for the rest of the year?" I'm bullish from now, next week into early December, and then I think it's going to be a fall. People got to sell for taxes. People are going to sell their stocks to lock in losses and lock in gains. So I think it's going to rebound here soon. Any more questions? The CNC link, you can DM me the word CNC and I'll send you a link. We got a lot of views in this live versus last Sunday. Yeah, man, everybody's watching football. Football season, my views go way down. I'm usually over 1,000, but that's what I'm saying, man, is that I'm not going to go on that tangent, but all right, so let's talk about the next thing, AI comeback, right? Now we talk about Nvidia stock dropped 10% in September. I think 12% now. $180 billion came out of the company's market capitalization. And a lot of things happened. Now, Nvidia's success came off of the AI boom that happened earlier this year. And I still think we're at the very early part of that boom. Like I remember I told you what happens in corporations is that when a new technology comes out, they have to build infrastructure first. That's what Nvidia was for. And they have to build software, and then it goes out into the enterprise software, which is later on down the line, which they don't really have that except through C3.ai right now. So I still think AI has a lot of potential in the future. AI is going to augment cryptocurrency also in the future. And I think that AI has a lot of potential. So like I said, Nvidia is fake sale news. I don't know what that means. I think Nvidia is still going to be $1,000 stock here soon. I mean, all the fundamentals and technicals point to that. Any thoughts on West Bank? I don't know what that is. But let's move on to QQQ and ETFs, right? Somebody said, I like when he says block forever. No, I'm not saying that tonight. So let's talk a little bit about QQQ and ETFs, right? One of the ETFs I like is QQQ because it tracks the performance of the NASDAQ 100, and it's been delivering pretty strong returns since 1999. So I'm going to start adding that into my, and it's actually been doing well this year, 10-year annualized return of 17.5, which is pretty good. So I'm going to start adding a few ETFs into my portfolio just to balance out the risk. But there's another one out there that I like a little bit better than QQQ, and it's called FTC. Somebody said Apple's not made in China anymore. I think they're made in Taiwan or somewhere. It's one of those Asian countries. I don't really get it. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the future of banking. Like I said, if you want to join the CNC, DM me the word CNC. A lot of people are making a lot of money in the CNC. So Ethereum. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum when we talk about the future of banking. Is the webinar still next week? It's on Monday. So I want to end up just talking a little bit about banking, and now it's going to change over the next few years. I had a week ago, I spoke at Tuskegee University about the future of finance. And I talked about 4 things that was going to change finance forever. 1 was quantum computing. 2 was the metaverse. 3 was cryptocurrencies. And 4 was artificial intelligence. Those few, and the thing about it is that this is why I always try to tell you guys and try to explain things to you. Over the next 4 years, next 5 years, maybe 10 years, there's going to be a fundamental change in society. A fundamental change in society that it's going to be one chance in your life that you can benefit from this change. We have AI movement, we have the blockchain movement, we have the metaverse. There's three fundamental things. Quantum computing is coming out, going to start being realized in 5 to 10 years. When these things happen over the next 10 years, it's going to change everything. And if you ever, it's a series out there called The Men Who Built America. I encourage each and every one of you to listen to that, to watch that show. Everybody broke. They saw the change in the Industrial Revolution and they all became rich, except JP Morgan had a rich father, but everybody else did it. And that's what's happening right now. With these technological changes that are happening in society are going to give many people, people that were in the past marginalized, a great opportunity for wealth building, but more than the world has ever seen. And all you have to do is it's a docudrama, that's it. All you have to do is take advantage. I think it's on Hulu. The Men Who Built America. That's the one. So like I said, is that banking is going to change into the future. Quantum computing is going to change the entire way we encrypt different things. So I want to talk about one more thing, and I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. Be honest, I'm a little tired. But I want to talk about one stock that I think could do extremely well in the future. I want to talk about this stock. It's a banking stock. It's a stock that JP Morgan says they think it's going to go up over 100% over the next year. It's already up 80% year to date. Almost every major analyst has said this stock is a buy. And the stock name is First Citizen Bank Shares. It's FCNCA. And I also agree with this. So I'm going to start buying that and add it to my portfolio. So like I said, in the last 5 minutes, you guys ask any questions you want, we'll answer them. And I'll let you guys go for the night. Nike earnings. What are your thoughts on Meta? I think Meta is in a good position to take advantage of the metaverse. And I know a lot of people don't believe that the metaverse is going to actually happen, but I promise you it is. I promise you it is. Like I said, and I encourage a lot of you to go out and get my book. It's on Amazon. It's called The Strategic Millionaire. But this book talks about trends in technology, trends in markets. And these trends, if you learn the trends, you'll see what's happening right in front of your eyes. And one of the trends about technology is that at the beginning of a trend, there's a hype cycle, right? Everybody's talking about it, going nuts, talking about how it's going to change the world. People can't be hyped up forever, right? They cannot be hyped up forever. So what happens in that hype cycle is that people get tired of talking about something. Like I remember back in January, I posted that robot dancing. I got 10 million views on that particular video. If I post it again, I get nothing because people's tired of seeing robots do stuff now. It's normal. Even though a little as a year ago, it's normal now. So people ain't not gonna be hyped up forever. So technology normally disappears and people think it's over because they don't see it like they used to. And then that's when all the real innovation takes place. Then sometimes it takes years, then it just pops up, just like ChatGPT did. AI has been around for 20 years. I remember there was a hype cycle in 2008, and there was another one around 2012, and it disappeared. And then all of a sudden, ChatGPT scared. It actually shocked me how far we were with AI. I didn't think we were that far. Now, I'm a software engineer with AI experience and worked for an AI company in the past. But this is what happens with technology, is that it disappears, and all of a sudden it pops up, and we're like, man, like the innovation, that's what it is, you know? And that's what happened with the internet. That's what happened with a lot of major technology changes in our world. But I think Meta's in a good position. I think they know what they're doing. I think one day they're going to be the innovators and the leaders in the metaverse. Everybody's laughing at them now, but they're not going to be laughing in 10 years. So like I said, is join the CNC. DM me the word CNC. If you're making money in the CNC, drop some money bags. On YouTube, I'm going to let you guys go. So I hope you guys have a great night.